Rarest. Funko Pops Part 2. What up, Randies? Stan here for Random Tens, and today we're once again taking a look at a heavily requested video. This time, the Rarest Funko Pops Part 2. You guys seriously seem to enjoy the last entry, and despite already having shown the rarest figures in that video, there's still at least 50 different Funko Pops that sell for upwards of $200, so prepare to see some really expensive and super rare collectibles in this episode. And if you don't see the one you want here, don't fret. It's probably either in our last video or coming up in the future. Maybe. So with that out of the way, let's get into even more vinyl-y goodness. Here are the Rarest Funko Pops, Part 2. For the most part, I think you guys are going to see figures from popular series that made appearances in the last video, and this entry is no exception. The blue-colored Cheshire Cat from the Pop Disney lineup of figures is one of the most elusive to find for any Disney collector, and the prices keep on climbing. Originally sold in an edition of 480 units, these 2012 San Diego Comic-Con exclusives vanish quicker than their namesake, but definitely stand out on your shelf. The most recent eBay sale sold for somewhere around $400 on average, but since its release the price only climbs higher and higher. Either way, if you can track one of these figures down for your collection, you'll probably be in Wonderland. Now, I warned you guys last video that when it comes to Batman and Funko, I could make a dozen videos alone because there's just so many rarities and variants in that set. And today, you're going to see the cream of the crop. The Batman Silver and Batman Flashpoint variant Pops are basically the same figure with some cosmetic differences, but their origin stories couldn't be any different from each other. Starting with the more colorful Flashpoint version, this figure was sold at New York Comic Con back in 2011, when Funko was just gaining some recognition in the industry. This Batman was limited to only 480 units, and in the past 90 days has sold on average for a solid $590. However, of the two, the Silver Batman is not only more expensive, but much rarer as well. Funko produced a scarce 108 silver variants of the Dark Knight as a reward to the Hot Topic store that sold the most pop merchandise over a specific period in 2012. This makes these figures extremely rare and a must-have for all Batman Funko fanatics. Now, it's very likely that one day this figure will go for plenty more, but for now, Silver Batman can be yours for a mere $600. One thing's for sure though, I certainly don't envy the Batman completionists out there. Holy bankruptcy, Batman, indeed. This is probably the figure that I got the most flack for in the comments of my last video, but I think now's the perfect time to show our favorite Marvel villain some love. The Avengers Loki Pop is one of the most legendary in the company's history, and word of mouth and rise of this figure is actually one of the main reasons Funko's so popular today. You see, based on the original Thor film's moderate success, at least compared to the Iron Man series, Marvel greatly underproduced Loki merchandise from the very start. But after one of the greatest blockbusters of all time, and of course a female fanbase bigger than the Hulk, this is far and away the most elusive Marvel exclusive. Sold as a limited edition with his helmet at, surprise, 2012 San Diego Comic-Con, this Loki was limited to only 480 pieces and fetches between $600 to $700 depending on the month. However, on occasion, this rare prankster has been known to sell for much higher than even that godly amount. Man, 2012 may have been the best year ever for Funko, but for Star Wars fans, 2012 will always be a memorable year. Last December's massive hit, Star Wars The Force Awakens, sold billions of dollars worth of merchandise alone, but without realizing it, the film's effect on popular culture has driven older products up significantly as well. An example of this effect is Funko Pop's 2012 exclusive holographic Darth Maul figurine, which was once again sold at the legendary San Diego Comic-Con. Now, this figure's always been difficult to get, but over the last 3 months specifically, its average has risen over $100 alone. This exclusive, limited to 480 units, now sells for over $900 on average, with some fetching over $1,000. This makes Darth Maul the second most exclusive pop in the Star Wars line of figures. Poor Darth Maul, always the apprentice, never the Sith Lord. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of The Rarest, but if you'd like to see another episode on this type of thing, then make sure you let me know. I'm thinking about doing a DC showcase, so like rare Batman, Superman, Green Arrow type stuff. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure you do check out our original video on the rarest Funko Pops, because more than likely, if there wasn't one here, it was on that video. And if you enjoyed what you saw, then make sure you subscribe, because there's probably more to come. Until then, I'm Stan, this is The Rarest, and as I always say, happy hunting, baby rhinos.